Middlesbrough is pretty low on claims to cultural fame, aside from inspiring the factory-filled cityscapes of Ridley Scott's Blade Runner and, you know, producing Roy Chubby Brown. But all that is set to change because of this book. I picked up a copy 2 weeks ago and I absolutely love it. It's by Richard Milward, who's 22 years old now, but was just 19 when he wrote it. And literary critics everywhere seem to love it just as much as I do. But what do real readers think? We're going to find out. I've invited a real-life book group round to give us their opinions. But before they arrive, here's the lowdown on the author and those amazing reviews.
My book, Apples, is about two 15-year-old kids on like a Middlesbrough council estate called Adam and Eve. Like Eve's sort of Miss Popular. She's beautiful. She's got like eyes like butterflies and thighs to die for. Also, her mum's got lung cancer, so she tends to go off the rails a bit. She like takes ecstasy with her friends and she gets drunk and sleeps with lots of random men. Adam's like the complete opposite. Like he's a kind of the outsider. Like he's got obsessive compulsive disorder. He's like obsessed with the Beatles and obsessed with porn mags, and he's obsessed with Eve as well. Describe it like a sort of small town love story. It's a bit like Beauty and the Beast almost, but on ecstasy and butter. I started like writing when I was like 11 or 12. After I read Trainspotting, I just thought, God, you can do whatever you want.
We got a McDonald's the night my mum got lung cancer. Jenny was sat there smoking a Super King and I was trying not to sit there so upset. We looked weird dressed up and stuff in our faces, but I couldn't eat a thing. I was hungry though. I didn't have the heart to ask Mum for money, so I had to excavate a tenner out of my piggy bank and hope to God it got me pissed.
Richard's tale of troubled teens has got the reviewers all hot under the collar.
As a first novel, it's coming from somewhere different. It's bracing and fresh, and above all, just very well written.
The word I used to describe this was coruscating, and it's dazzling.
I actually found myself immediately drawn into the whole narrative sweep, to the characters. I wanted to find out what happened. It's funny and awful by turns.
Some of its ostensibly most shocking passages are also its most brilliant passages. There's a very vivid infanticide in the book, and it's ghastly, but my God, it's brilliant.
It struck me for the rest of my life I'd only have the baby boy for company, and so far he hadn't been much of a mate. I stood him on top of the railing and we had a dance as the wind eased and we saw a couple of slivers of blue sky. I made a little prayer, then I scrunched up my eyes and accidentally on purpose threw him off the rail. There was a big plop in the water and a bit of red where he must have smacked off the bottom.
His ability to empathise with characters and create very believable, breathing people in fiction is quite rare.
Okay, you get the message. They really like this book, but don't you get the feeling that sometimes reviewers get carried away and the hype snowballs? We decided to give the book to some ordinary readers for some honest reviews. This is the Forest Hill Book Group, and they're going to tell us what they really think of Apples. So we've got our book, we've got our book club, but we've also got a sting in the tail. Follow me to my secret lair. And look who's in here. Hot young author Richard Milward. Hello, sir.
All right, lad.
I'm all right, how are you?
Smashing that, son.
Now look, here we are in actually what is a secret surveillance lair, Richard, because we all know that everybody who's anybody loves your book, but what do real people think? Are you ready to see the reviews of this book group?
Too right.
Okay, well let's get our headphones on and get surveilling. It's the moment of truth for Richard. The book group are ready to talk, but of course they have no idea we're listening in.
You know, I really did like it, but I was a little underwhelmed. I think it was, I wasn't shocked. I expected to be shocked. The material in it was very shocking, but the language that he used made me, I don't know, I wasn't shocked by it.
There's so much more going on in the minds of teenagers. They might go to all these parties, but in this book, it's only just parties and only drugs and only sex and nothing else in between. No real thought, no real reflection.
Do you think that's true? I don't think that's true.
No, not at all. Like, especially someone like Adam, it's all up here, really. Like
he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. It's all in his head, like it.
I mean, I have an 11-year-old daughter myself. Don't don't really want to think about her doing these things in 4 years.
My concern was that teenagers would read this and think, my life should be like this because this is so exciting. And you know, life isn't like this, really. This is like, you know, all in one sort of novel, the whole sort of like, you know, experience.
The being dead like one-sided, like as if it's all just parties and all.
Kind of odd bits where he just throws in really strange metaphors, like he talks about the party, he says the teachers were standing around the edge of the room like PCs, which is a really weird metaphor, but it's exactly spot on. You think, oh yeah, I know what he means.
That school disco is a fantastic part. I was there, I was in that school disco at 15
I love
again.
the way she says she couldn't take drugs at the school disco because if she told the teachers that she loved them, she'd never go back to school again.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
And she did anyway, didn't she?
I think what's really interesting is actually, for all her faults, I really like Eve. I think she's a really nice character.
Because that is the whole point, really, of the
Eve?
book, right? Yeah.
And the
like,
book?
I guess so, yeah. Giving, like, kids a bit of humanity.
It has moments where you think, actually, you are quite innocent, you are quite a lovely girl. And there's one bit where she says, oh, I've got 3 sleeps till Mallorca. And I thought, how nice is that? You know, the children say, I've got how many sleeps to my birthday? And she still says at her age, I've got 3 sleeps.
I still say that.
I've got it.
I thought it was quite similar to the last book that we read for our book club, which was Zola's Nana.
I thought that
It's not bad. Zola.
It's good. Don't know anything about it.
In a way, what I think is good about it is I think he kind of wrote it for himself. I think he just enjoyed writing it. I don't think he set off with an agenda to speak to teenagers or to speak to a particular age group. I think he just enjoys it.
You'd love to meet him and find out how much of this is his life and his experiences.
Should we go in and surprise him?
Let's pop in.
Come on.
To a friend of mine. I've also recommended it to my boyfriend, who's slightly older than I am.
Ladies. Hello.
hello, Laverne.
Hello.
Oh my God! So, yes, this is Richard Milward, the author. We've been listening in secret. Sorry about that. Couple of things to pick up on. Wouldn't recommend it to anyone under 25, but he's only 22. Can he not read his own book? How would that work?
No, my worry is that I had a friend who I spoke to yesterday who was saying about Skins, and that her children watch Skins and get really depressed because they think my life should be like Skins, and it's not.
That's not the intention at all. So it's not like it's not a handbook, you know.
But then would you say, you know, you can't read The Idiot by Dostoevsky in case you go out and murder an old lady?
How much of it is autobiographical, can we ask?
It's like it is like a mad tapestry of like autobiographical stuff and just observation and just total imagination as well. Because like when I was writing it, I was going out like on weekends and stuff and like getting into all the drugs and whatever, like with like Eve sort of thing. But like then going on the next week and sort of locking myself up in my bedroom and actually writing, you know.
So there's only one question remaining. What did the book group make of Richard and apples now that we've played our dirty trick on them?
It was fun, it was good, and if we'd have known, it wouldn't have been quite as effective.
It's quite a sort of shock. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what have they heard me saying?
Ever since I've read the book, I've wanted to meet him, and now I have.
I did worry a bit about what he's overheard, but then I thought, actually, in the end of the day, we were quite positive about his book.
He's exactly what I thought he would be. He's warm, he's empathetic, sympathetic, he's sweet. Exactly what I expected from the book.